I've got a narrative going on right now about a good friend of mine who I feel is building a case against me. And I've had this feeling for a couple days now, and I haven't even said anything to him yet. And I'm 99% sure it's totally BS. But in my mind, I've built and am building this false narrative that he has this beef with me, and I have no data points to back it. I don't even have a bad data point to back it up. I've literally created it out of thin air. Oh, does anyone else do this? Please tell me somebody else does this besides me. Do any of the rest of you build false narratives that impact your life in a negative way, that impact your relationships in a negative way? Welcome to the EQ Gangster podcast, where you will learn practical tools to grow your mental and emotional health and intelligence to be the best version of yourself, both at work and at home. It is real, raw, and transformational. The journey of emotional growth isn't easy, but it's worth it. I believe in you. EQ Gangsters, where are false narratives destroying your life? Where are false narratives destroying your life? Let me give an example of a place where I have immediate false narratives. It is fascinating, y'all. And consistently so far, driving. When I was just driving, and I'm driving, and there's this guy. I'm in the left lane. I need to get in the right lane because I'm getting ready to turn right. And the guy next to me is too close to the vehicle in front of him for me to get in between them. And my thought was, immediately it was, oh, this guy's trying to block me from turning right. Is that crazy? This guy doesn't even know I exist, y'all. He doesn't even know I exist. And I create this false narrative that he's trying to block me from turning right. When all I have to do is slow down a little bit instead of speed up. I don't have to speed up. I can slow down and I can pull in behind him and then make the right turn. And I did it again before that. I did it before that with another vehicle who you guys know the accordion effect in a car, right? You know, when you're driving. And so the accordion effect happened on this turn. I pulled off on an exit. There was probably, no joke, 75 cars that were backed up. And so the accordion kicks in. And so now all the cars put on their brake lights really fast because the accordion hit sooner than expected. And the truck, there's a white truck behind me, almost hit me and almost pulled off on the side a little bit. And I pulled off on the right a little bit because I saw behind me, I had to brake because the car in front of me braked real hard. And so it's this big accordion effect. And then I looked back and the two guys were laughing about something. I immediately said, oh, they're laughing at me because I had to brake hard. Oh, dude, what is that? Why do I create these ridiculous false narratives? And every car in the thing had to brake hard. So it wasn't just me, but somehow I made it about me. And I made this personal false narrative and ran with it. And I gave two, small, unimpactful examples. But I do it in real life. I mean, that's real life, but I do it in my day-to-day life also. I've got a narrative going right now. I don't want to say anything. I've got a narrative going on right now about a good friend of mine who I feel is building a case against me. And I've had this feeling for a couple days now, and I haven't even said anything to him yet. And I'm 99% sure it's totally BS. But in my mind, I've built and am building this false narrative that he has this beef with me, and I have no data points to back it. I don't even have a bad data point to back it up. I've literally created it out of thin air. Oh, does anyone else do this? Please tell me somebody else does this besides me. Do any of the rest of you build false narratives that impact your life in a negative way, that impact your relationships in a negative way? So yeah, be aware of that. Increase your self-awareness. I'm going to be working on this as well. And working on being more aware of when I create false narratives and how they're negatively impacting my relationships, friendships, colleagues, co-working relationships. What are those false narratives? And ask myself, is it true? How do I know it's true? Have I had a conversation with whoever it is to confirm or deny whether or not it's true? Those are real powerful questions that I'm going to start working on to get better at this area. How are false narratives destroying your life? Man, this is a really good one. You guys rock. You are worth becoming the best version of yourself, of who God's called you to be. It is worth the discomfort, the unpleasantness, the uncomfortableness to work through and go through whatever it is to become the emotionally healthiest, spiritual healthiest, physical healthiest version of you that God's called you to be. Super grateful for each and every one of you, whether you're a podcast listener or a YouTube watcher. Just super, super grateful. And thanks for your, patience with me, your grace. And please give yourself patience and grace as well in this journey. Man, not everyone's working on stuff. I've there's somebody that I have worked with. There's somebody that I have worked with that is not willing to work on themselves, which is fascinating. I've met actually a few folks like that. They're not willing to work on themselves. And that is a super scary place to be, in my opinion. When you are not willing to work on yourself, I think, in my opinion, that's a dangerous person. When you're not willing to own where you're at and then try to work on it and improve and grow. And I guess I understand to a degree, because when I first started going to therapy, I was terrified. I was genuinely terrified. I never wanted to look under the bed or look in the closet, so to speak, the proverbial closet or proverbial under the bed, because I didn't know what monsters I was going to find under there or in there. And if and when I did see the monsters under my bed or in my closet, I had no tools to combat them or to work with them or to fight them or to understand them. I had no tools. So I was terrified for a couple reasons. I didn't know what I was going to find, and I didn't know what to do with whatever I found. And so for those two reasons, right, and as an ID, influencer dominant personality, the dominant does not like feeling incompetent. D's only like doing, for the most part, what they're competent at. And if they're not competent at something, if they want to do it, they will get competent as quickly as possible to get through that feeling of incompetence and discomfort. to get to a place of confidence and comfort. So yeah, I was terrified. So I do have empathy. I do have empathy for those people who are not in a position right now to work on themselves. I just pray that at some point they will get to a place where they're willing to own every spot of their life, and then gently and gracefully and graciously and patiently and lovingly allow yourself and the Lord to start doing some work, some surgery on those areas. Because yeah, that's how God does it with us, at least with me. He's been such a gentle parent, and patient and forgiving and kind, which is just surprising sometimes for me. But because I wish, man, God, sometimes I just give me the beat down, and he doesn't. And so anyway, pay attention to your narratives and challenge them. Challenge your narratives. Challenge your narratives in a kind, loving, gentle way, and challenge them. You rock, you matter, you're worth it.